we've been having troubles in Mississippi with insurance, right? A lot of people are uninsured. And, well, luckily there was Obamacare, so that expanded Medicaid. That really worked throughout the country in bringing down the uninsured rates, but not in Mississippi. Well, of course, part of the reason for that is Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant refused to expand Medicaid. So you can't give more people insurance if you didn't expand Medicaid under Obamacare. In fact, the numbers bear that out. As you see here, unfortunately, the uninsured rate in Mississippi has not gone down. It's done the opposite. It's actually gone up by 3.34 percentage points, all the way up to 21.46%. Now, as Talking Points memo explains, an estimated 137,800 people in Mississippi were left uncovered by health insurance because the state did not expand Medicaid. Okay, so how is the governor going to explain this? Well, he has a handy-dandy explanation. He says, quote, if statistics show that the ill-conceived and so-called Affordable Care Act is resulting in higher rates of uninsured people in Mississippi, I'd say that's yet another example of a broken promise from Barack Obama. Oh, that's brilliant. You get that? Goddamn Obamacare. It starts, and all of a sudden we have more uninsured in Mississippi. But you didn't apply it. You didn't use it in Mississippi. That's why your uninsured went up. Which I don't know what you're talking about. Goddamn Obamacare. Man, he says it without blinking, with no conscience whatsoever. Yeah, I didn't use Obamacare. Goddamn Obamacare. You see my point? Unreal. Okay. Now, Mississippi has the distinction of being the second worst state when it comes to uninsured. I'm sure that if some lib state like Massachusetts that's had the equivalent of Obamacare for a long time, which by the way is of course Romneycare, they've got to be the worst in the uninsured rate, right? Of course not. Number one in uninsureds, Texas, 24.81%. Funny. And then here's the most important stat there at the bottom. Nationally, the rate of uninsureds has dropped 3.66 points, all the way down to 14.22%. So the national average is going down. We have less uninsured because Obamacare has been applied in some of the states. In the states where it has not been applied, like Mississippi, the exact opposite has happened. There are more uninsured. So if it was Obamacare's fault overall and it was applied across the country, then wouldn't there be more uninsured all across the country? Well, of course there would be, but there aren't. Actually, there's more people who are insured, and that's because some states actually applied Obamacare. Okay, and to give you a sense of some southern states, if you want to compare, that actually did expand Medicaid, there was 3 of them. Let's talk about that example. This comes from Northeast Mississippi Daily Journal. Only 3 southern states participated in Medicaid expansion: Arkansas, Kentucky, and West Virginia. All 3 experienced some of the biggest drops in the percentage of uninsured residents: 10.74% in West Virginia, 8.35% in Kentucky, and 7.1% in Arkansas. So, shocking. It turns out that if you expanded Medicaid and had actually done Obamacare, even in neighboring southern states, you had huge drops in the uninsured rate. In Mississippi, instead, it continues to get worse. In fact, it is estimated that if Medicaid was expanded, as many as 300,000 Mississippians could gain health care coverage. But thanks to their Republican governor, those 300,000 people will not have health insurance coverage. So that's not an and if or a maybe. It is unquestionably because of the decision of your governor that you do not have insurance if you're in that bracket. And it's also unquestionably because of your governor that your uninsured rate has gone up, unlike the rest of the country, because you've chosen to go backwards instead of forward. Now, when they asked Phil Bryant, wait a minute, okay, you rejected Obamacare, but what are you doing to get your insurance rate lower? Because obviously that isn't working either, right? Nothing you're doing is working. But you tell me, what's your genius idea to get more people insured in the state of Mississippi? He says, well, we continue to strengthen our overall business climate and attract more job opportunities for Mississippians and their families. In other words, corporate tax cuts. Good folks in Mississippi, if you want insurance, don't re-elect Republicans. I'm not high on Democrats, but they're not this, right? Now, on the other hand, if you want more advantages for big corporations, well, the Republicans are your guys. Is that a hard choice? I guess it is, because they keep re-electing Republicans. So Well, you're going to keep having the worst results in the country, as Mississippi does over and over again. Near the bottom in almost every major category: poverty, lack of education, lack of insurance, and the list goes on and on. But the Republican governors, they have a plan: more breaks for corporations. How's that working out for you, Mississippi?